dentistry. So she doesn't know this. Hopefully she's not on here, but I'm making her a scrub cap. She's a hygienist. And this is a 4-way stretch. And it's really stretchable and breathable. So hopefully she's not on here looking. But I'm getting ready, and on the back it's just white. And these wash and dry really, really well. And I even have some surgical tech ones. I have some at your cervix. So if you know a OBGYN or something, I do have some that say at your cervix. I also have some for the techs, sterile techs that say this is how we roll or how I roll. But I've got that. Getting ready to make her. And I'll show you how I make these. I'm going to make this on live, I guess. And I created my pattern. It's just a circle. Really and truly, it's a circle. It's folded right now, but it's old. It's old. It's tattered because I've used it a lot. But it's just a big circle. Just a big round circle. And if you fold your fabric like the circle, or I like to do mine this way. I just like to do mine that way on the fold and then open it up. And then I've got my band. That's my band. And this is folded, so I will cut this on the fold. And again, I'm making this for one of my best clients. She found me on TikTok and she orders from me. She's even now, I have her number. We text all the time. She's like, can you make me this? Yeah, I can make you that. But this, I'm gifting this to her. She's placed such a large order with me. I'm gifting that. Hopefully she's not on here. She won't see it. So I'm getting ready to make this. So hopefully you'll be able to see me on this other side. And I'm just going to open this up. And I'm going to cut some of this off here. I'm just going to cut some of this white part off. And I just cut it very close here to this edge. And sometimes sewing, guys, it be boring. The prep is the boring part. And again, if you know a dental hygienist, and these can be, I make the bonnets. I also make the scrunchies and the headbands. So if you don't want a whole bonnet, you can have or a scrub cap. You can have a headband or a scrunchie. And I'm just gonna cut along this side here. And I love making these. These are so cute. I especially love the different careers that people have and that we can select to make. So I just cut that white band part off. And I'm gonna fold it. And I'll show you how. And again, I have my circle, but I have it folded. And so all I'm gonna do is lay it down. I'm gonna pin it. And again, this is a 4-way stretch. And I just pin it around so it won't come up when I start to cut it. And once I get this cut out, I will then cut out her headband, the band that goes on the bonnet. And even if it gets some of the white part on that other side, I just make sure I gauge that towards the back. And again, this is on the fold, and I'll show you in just a minute. And I cut that. I'm going to go ahead and take the pins out to show you that that's just a full circle. And again, if you have braids or dreads, I can cut this even bigger so the finished product will fit over that. I have one that's super large, so when I have my hair braided, and see, that's the round part of that bonnet. That is the round part. And again, this is the fold. And I just set that on the fold and cut around it. And now this is my headband. And this is folded. And if you want the measurements, feel free to just ask me. I can shoot you the measurements. And for the headband, I need to make that just a little longer. And again, this is the band that's going to go around it. And I'm just going to pin it. Make sure this is even here, and I'm just going to pin it. Let me get my pins here. And I've been making these bonnets for many, many years. And I'm going to pin this also. I pin both sides just so when I'm cutting it, it doesn't move around on me. But yeah, if you want the measurements of the bonnet, I'm happy to send that to you. And September is National Sewing Month. So I'm trying to keep up with the sewing this month. And again, I'm just making this for one of my TikTok clients. She has placed like 3 or 4 orders, maybe more than that. Because even before I set up my website again, I was just sending her invoices. Because she was like, I want this. I'm like, girl, I will make it for you. And I've cut that out that quick. All right. And I'm just gonna, and I still have more of that. So if you know a dental hygienist or a dentist that would like a scrub cap, these will be added to my website once I make hers. Hopefully she's not on here. I don't see her on here too today. All right, I'm gonna undo, take the pins out of this headband, and then I'm gonna sew it up. And I'll do her, I'll make her a scrunchie another day. But I always pin it just to make sure it doesn't move around on me. And we've got her headband. And what I'll do is I'm gonna show you, but I'm getting ready to sew that, and then I'll fold it, and we're gonna add it to her. So this is what the pieces are looking like. We've got our round headband, our round bonnet part, and then we have our headband. And you're getting ready to see how easy I put these together. Put my pins, and I have white thread. This has mainly white in it, so I'm gonna use my white thread. Ooh. All right. Thank you for joining me, guys. I am just in the process of making a scrub cap for a friend. Hopefully my music is not too loud. Oh, and when I do my bonnet, I've got a hand scrunch this all the way around just to gather it as well. So again, here's a better view of that. It has toothpaste, toothbrush, mouthwash, all that on it for a dental hygienist. And what I'm gonna do with this, see that stretches. And when we sew, again, we sew with our right sides together. And I'm just gonna pin it. Put a couple pins in it here, just so that won't move around on me when I'm sewing it. And I'm gonna use a zigzag stitch. I think I'm gonna use a straight stitch on it. on this part only. And I'm not going to back stitch it. Take my pen out. If you're joining me, thank you so much. Feel free to share my live and tap that screen. All right. I think I'm going to, I don't need to tie that. Just kind of cut those strings. And I sewed that up. And that's going to be the band part of it. And that's the back seam. And again, see how that stretches? That's going to be the handband part of this bonnet. And so what I'm going to do is just put a pin in the seam of this, just to keep that together. Just put that pin in the seam of it. And I think I'm going to use some black thread on this to gather it. So let me find my needle. I have some black thread. Let's see. And here's my needle. Already looks like I already have it threaded. There we go. But I'm gonna need more thread than this. I might just tie it because this is not, I'm gonna take this out. I'm only using this stitch to gather. It's what we call a gather stitch. And I just want to tie it here. Hopefully it'll tie and let me gather it. If not, it's gonna make me get some more thread out. It is. I'm gonna need some long thread for that. So again, I'm gonna use black. If I have any sewists on the live, tap, tap, tap my screen. I am making a scrub cap for a dental hygienist. And it has the teeth, mouthwash, and you cut out a circle. I did this pattern just based on measurements from a bonnet I bought a long time ago. And it's pretty much a circle and then the headband. And if anyone needs the measurements, I'm happy to give those to you. Like those little bonnets you get from the hair store. And that's what I and making, but I have some beautiful, unique fabrics. And so people always ask me if I can make something. I'm like, yeah. I mean, like that. But I don't make like prom dresses and stuff like that. I don't do prom dresses or wedding dresses, unfortunately. I've had to tell people I do not. Nothing against it. I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to sew, but I've got my new sewing machine as if I needed one. And I'm just testing it out. It's been in the box for like 2 or 3 weeks, so I figured I better take it out and use it. All right. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this part. And on this part, what I typically do is just start on the inside. And I try to find what will be the back of it. Let's see. Because I have some of the white part on here, but it's okay because the way I'll sew it up, you won't see it. This is going to be the front. So I want to go towards the back. And all I'm going to do is go in, out, in, out. And that's just kind of how I start. I'm just going in, out, in, out. And I'll gather it to the length of the headband. And once I sew it, I'll be able to pull this black thread out. I'm just going in and out, in and out. And again, September is National Sewing Month. And if you can see, I have that in, out, in, out. I'm just scrunching that up, gathering it. And I'll pull my needle through. And that's what I'm doing. And when I pull that together, it'll gather again. And I just do this all the way around. And once I sew it on, well, once I get it gathered, I'm going to put the headband on it. And then I'll start to adjust it to make sure it's gathered to fit. And I don't have any spaces. And I just go back and forth till I have so much on my needle. And then I'll pull it through. And I'm going to do this all the way around. Thank you for liking my live, guys. And I just do this all the way around. And I'm just pulling my thread through. And again, that's why I use black thread. And once I gather it, I'll be able to pull it all the way through and cut that out, and you will not see it. And I go about 1 inch down all the way around. That tends to work best for me. And this is just kind of the tedious part. But if I were using a satin where I would have two satin fabrics, I wouldn't use this method, because then I would put in a band around it. It would be encased. So I'm just hand gathering this part of the bonnet. And again, you see how that part is already gathering. And I'll do that all the way around. And if you sew, I have quite a few cute sewing t-shirts on my website. I even have the Gordon Gartrell on my website as well. Famous. It was even like a joke I had when I started sewing, because I was like, I just don't want all my stuff to come out looking like a Gordon Gartrell. Because it can happen. If you misread a couple of instructional steps, it can happen. So that was definitely playing a big part of my sewing, because I haven't always sewn. I didn't start sewing till about 13 years ago. One day I was bored on a job, and I was like, I just want to sew. And I took one sewing class at Joann's Fabric, which is why I was heartbroken when Joann's closed. But I took one sewing class 13 years ago, and I've been teaching just as long as I've been sewing. But I always like to learn new stuff. I've made clothes. I've made myself dresses and skirts, and I even made my outfit for my friend's wedding that I only wore one time. So I sew, but I should sew more of my own clothes, but a lot of times I don't even have time. Or I don't want to take the time for myself. But I teach more than I'm sewing for myself. And see, that just lets me pull that. And that's where I started, back here. And see how that gathers? And I'll pull that tension out once I get it to the headband, once I'm done. And I'll tie it off. I'll try to keep this about an inch or so. And when I sew this, the headband on, I use a zigzag stitch so that it'll have that give when they go to put it on their head, and it won't break those stitches. So now I'm at the end. I'm right back where I started, and I'm gonna pull this through. I'm gonna pull this through. Okay, there we go. So now what I'm just gonna do is kind of I'm gonna pull this other side and pull this towards. And again, I'm still gathering this. I'm just pulling it towards this other end to make it kind of even. And I'm just kind of opening that up. And this is just what works for me. If a different way works for you, by all means, this is just how I've been doing mine for many, many years. And that just kind of opens up. And what I'll do now, that's my headband. I'll just kind of measure it. And I just want to make sure it shows gathered all the way around. And with that pin in the back, let me see, I might have a little too much light. And that's my pin right there. That lets me know that's on my seam. And so what I'm gonna do, since this is the back, I started in the back, I'm gonna put this in the back. Let me make sure. I'm actually gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it the other way. Because again, when I flip it down, I know it's scattered on my scrub caps. I like to use a scattered seam, meaning print, so it goes in all directions. Hang on, let me get this over here. Just get getting some more thread here. I hope that's not too much light, y'all. Making sure I got enough thread. I am going to use white. And I got to change it to my zigzag here. Is what I'm going to do. And I need a test piece of fabric. So if you're still watching with me, tap on my screen, let me know. Feel free to share my live. But I'm getting ready to pin it now. Let's see. I'll put my thread over here. And again, I'm just finding the back. Where I started, which is right here. And I'm gonna pin it to that main fabric, and I'm gonna pull my bonnet through. And make sure my thread is up, because I still may need to adjust it once I start pinning it around. And I'm just making sure. All right. So I'm going to pin this. I'm also gonna kind of pin it. Just so it won't shift on me. And then if I need to go back and adjust it, I will. And I also want to make sure the headband part. All right. And I pin it long ways only because I did kind of scrunch it up and I wanted to keep that shape. Let me make sure. Put some more pins in it here. And this just takes a little time. You just kind of got to work with it. But that's okay. And see, I'm still just pinning that around. Also making sure that band is even, because as I use that zigzag stitch, I do want it to capture and get all that fabric. All right, I'm still going around. And once I get this pinned, I'm still gonna stretch it out some. Just to make sure when they open it up to put that on their head, that they have enough. Especially if they have like braids, or I know the person I'm making this for, looks like they wear their hair in braids a lot. So, sometimes braids can be bulky. So I definitely want to make sure I give her enough room. And again, I use a zigzag stitch on this. And again, I want to open that. And I want to pull this other side of this thread to gather it. Still want to stretch it out. Still stretching this a little more because I got a little more room on this headband. So I definitely want to make sure it opens enough. All right, still pinning. All right, still moving that around. All right. And that's how it looks on the inside. It's all gathered. I just want to make sure I don't have any gaps. Before I go around it. And again, I pin this a lot. And even if you sew this up, I'm using a zigzag stitch. You could always just break that and pull that out if you needed to adjust it and start over. I've had that happen before. So I'm just making sure. All right, that's close to the back here. And I'm gonna test my zigzag stitch on my new sewing machine. I just want to test this zigzag, and it's zigzag so it won't break those stitches when they go to put it over their head. It doesn't break it. Ooh, that's a big wide zigzag too. I like it. And that's the zigzag stitch. Don't know if you can see that good. It's white and that's on yellow, but it's a zigzag stitch. Just kind of been playing with my stitches. I may even make that a little smaller. Let me see. No, I like the other one. think I'm gonna use it on a 4. Let me get another piece of fabric. I just want to test it. I think I got some black fabric here. All right, you'll be able to see it on this one. See, that's a big zigzag stitch. And that's what I'll be using going all the way around my bonnet here. Need some pins here. All right. And again, I'm gonna start in the back. I still have my thread attached. I think I'm gonna just move it to this side. And I start on the inside of this. Let me put my needle up. Yeah. This is the back. And I do need to take some of these pins out. And I'm going to start with my needle down because I do need to pull this pin out here. And I do not back stitch when I'm doing my zigzag stitch. I don't back stitch on it. Pull my... And I'm trying to be mindful. I do not run over my pins. That will break your needle. And if you kind of need to lift that. And I'm also going over the black thread because once I'm done, I'll be able to pull that all the way out. And I'm just kind of tucking this and helping it under. Just kind of helping it go under that needle. Just want to make sure my pins are out. And as I start to get close, I will pull those. And I just take my time and go around that whole, this whole bonnet. And I'm making sure I don't have any pins in it. And some other areas seem a little bulky because it's gathered there. And I just make sure it goes under. And I'm pulling that pin. And still turning it. And once I'm done, I can always just kind of trim that end, but I'm keeping it like a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And these pins do hide off in here. And again, I do still have my black thread in here, so I'm going to move this around because I'm coming to the end, almost the end now. I'm going to pull this pin here, and I don't have many more to go. And I'm coming back to about where I started. All right. And I'm gonna cut some of my thread, and I'm gonna now test it, and I'm gonna show you how this looks. Oh, got a pin there. And there we go. Oh. I mean, then just throw it down. Okay. But there we go. And that's the inside. And I do have a serger. You could serge this. I have a serger, but have I threaded that thing? Not really. I've had it threaded a few times, but all right. So what I'm getting ready to do is find my black thread. Here it is. I'm gonna find the end of it. And it's 2 parts to it. I'm gonna cut the longest end that I threaded through. And I think I'm gonna use one of my pins or my scissors to just kind of feed that out. Because see, you can still see that black thread. And I'm just gonna pull this black thread out. Try not to break it so it'll pull out. And I just work it out. And I just take my time working that out. And see, I just pull that out. And that's coming out. And I just go all the way around with it. Try not to break it. And I just kind of work that out. I can get my finger under there. I'll just pull that. And then what I do, once I get the black thread out, is I'll go back through and do the edges of it. Because I did leave some seam allowance, allowance. I didn't sew it close to the edge, but I'll go back in and seal that up. Still pulling that through. And also as that comes out, let's see, I don't like to do it that way. Oh, but it works. All right. And see, once you pull that black thread out, it gives it even more give. And that's the back. And there we have our scrub cap. And it took a few minutes, but it's okay. And I'll show you and this is what it looks on the opposite side. And what I mean is I'll go through and I'll zigzag stitch all of that together. And I'll cut my threads off and we'll be done. But yep, that is a scrub cap for a dental assistant. And I'll go in and just kind of cut these threads out. And then I'm going to go back around and zigzag I'm going to go back around and zigzag the edges. See how it may come down? I'm going to zigzag the edges so they all close. And you can do this or you can skip this part. I just like to do it. And I'll use a smaller stitch on this one. Let me find some black thread. Let me make sure. And again, when I do this, I do not back stitch. And I want to start at that back seam. And I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to go all the way around it this time. And you can kind of hear it. Hear this, and I want to make sure it's flat so it doesn't get this headband in here. And again, if you want the measurements for this bonnet or scrub cap, just shoot me a message. I'm happy to give it to you. All right, and I'm out of my tags. I usually have my Blingville 615 tags that I put on these. Just in case you forget and people ask, my tag is on them, but I am out. Okay, so I went back around. If you can see, let me see. But I did go back around. And see, that stretches. And we're done. And see the way I did that? The seam is in the back. And when that band comes down, it's facing forward. So I hope she likes it. And I will be bagging that up. And again, this is being made for one of my very good clients. She has shopped with me and purchased a lot. So I am grateful to her. I do appreciate her purchases. And so she has spent enough with me. So I was like, you know what? I can make her something. And there we go. And this will be going out. I'll probably mail this out tomorrow. I may even make her a scrunchie to go with it. But that's me using my sewing machine. My mom bought this for me. I have others, but I just thought this one was so pretty because it was black and gold. And now I can tell my mommy, I finally took it out of the box and used it. But this is being shipped. And again, I do have other ones. I have some Black Nurse. That's a lot of light. I do have some Black Nurse. Close this. And I'll show you the Black Nurse ones that I have. They're also already on my TikTok. If you look at my TikTok, I did post it yesterday. And I have the nurse. Let me show you here. Black nurse. Representation means a lot to me. So I create some fabrics that way. Black nurses can represent doctors. So if you have a salon or a bakery and you want a logo on your scrub caps, I'm happy to make those for you. I have one. I was cleaning out my stash and I had some scrap fabric left over. I did Miss Clara Sweets and Treats a few years ago. And this is just a scrap I have left from her. But I have her video on here too. And that was her logo. And I made her bonnets and and this is when COVID was out. I made her bonnets and whatever I had left over. I also made her some masks with it. And that is a 4-way stretch. So I just found this. I might have enough to do like a headband. And I might see if she wants a headband or two out of that. I also had this fabric. This is just scrap. And I was like, what can I make with that? So these are just some of the fabrics that I have. Again, this is a 4-way stretch, light and breathable. It protects your hair. So if you work with food or even just as a bonnet, I sleep in this. This is the kind of bonnet fabric that I have. And I make these. And so if you're interested, some of these are on my website. I think I loaded these last night. But I thank you guys so much for rocking with me today while I open my new sewing machine. And I'll be back. September is National Sewing Month. And so I am not done. I will be on here sewing. Yesterday I was on here and I was painting my breast cancer earrings. So I got a lot going on. I even made these earrings too. I think those are on my website. If you don't see them on my website, just hit me up. I'm happy to add them because I have some more and I have other colors. So thank you for rocking with me today. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go show my mom what I made today with the sewing machine that she bought me. Again, this is my Singer HD 500 and it's black and gold. It's like a vintage, but it's new vintage. So I absolutely love it. She just runs like a dream. Today was my first day using it. And I will be using it many, many more times because I absolutely love it. So Singer, if you see this, feel free to sponsor me, send me something.